It's race time here in Portugal, and first up it's the electric class. Lights out is just a handful of moments away, and oh boy have we got a stacked front row for you, with MotoE's most winningest rider on pole, last year's rookie hotshot alongside, and the reigning world champion lurking in third. 7 laps of all-out action await. Who will stake their claim to the crown right from the off? It's time to find out as we go racing in MotoE in Portimao. So bom dia then to everyone watching along wherever you are watching from in the world. You're joining us here at the Autodromo Internacional do Algarve, and it's time for the first MotoE race of the season, race 1 of a 16 race championship that is sure to deliver the ups and downs that we expect from MotoE, and it's also the first race of the weekend. So finally we will be gearing up to lights out in just a few moments indeed. As you can see, the weather conditions are similar to yesterday, but we have to say just a touch better. 22 degrees, a slight breeze, but nothing more than the riders can handle. They'll certainly be fine out there, but thankfully it is not wet here today at all, and it doesn't look like, even though the clouds are suggesting there might be possibility of rain, at the minute it looks like that it should be all fine, and the weather forecast is not saying anything else. So then, my name is Jack Gorson, alongside me as ever it is the handsome, tall and dark Mr. Neil Morrison alongside us, and down in pit lane we do have Fran Wild, who will be on the grid making herself busy, as you can see there in the background. We'll be hopefully chatting to a bunch of riders in the meantime. But race 1 of the 2024 season then, it's going to be an absolute cracker, Neil, and I think that, well, after yesterday's pole position from Eric Granado, he has to be a bit of a favourite heading into this one.
Yep, absolutely. Eric Granado, his 10th career pole in MotoE. He will be possibly the favourite going into this race, but it was so tight on the front row with Nicola Spinelli and Mattia Casadei 2nd and 3rd. But we are going to pass down to Fran Wild on the grid, because she's with the man who qualified 5th yesterday, Alessandro Zacconi.
I am. So, Alessandro, you fought for the crown before in MotoE. We've seen some spectacular races. That last bit at Le Mans a couple of years ago, incredible. Last year, though, a bit of a tougher season, but now it seems like you're getting there. You feeling a lot better this season so far?
Yeah, for sure. This year we were start in a better way. I start to feel better again with the MotoE. So I hope to do some fun race like in 2021.
We want to see those elbows. We know you have them.
We will try.
Thanks, Fran. Thanks to Alessandro Zacconi. Yes, he's looking a lot more like his 2021 self. Zacconi, of course, was fighting for the championship that year. We didn't really see that figure much in 2023, but Zacconi looking good, as is this man, Mattia Casadei. Jack, you have to say, one of the favourites as well.
Yeah, of course, reigning world champion, the first ever world champion in MotoE there. You can see him doing his stretches, making sure he's all limbered up, ready to go for this 7-lap race. And you really do have to be ready to go, because just may I remind you, in case this is your first year watching MotoE, no warm-up lap in MotoE, straight into it, straight down the road, just a bit like the Isle of Man TT, straight into racing action from the very, very first corner. Here is Hector Garzo. Actually, we can go down to Fran, because I believe she's got a very special guest down on the grid, David Alonso.
I have indeed. So, David, it seems like you really know the secrets to Portimao after the incredible speed we've seen from you so far this weekend. But you're here on the grid with Jordi. Aspar team vibes, great as always. Yeah. What, have you been sharing any of your secrets? Has he been sharing any of his?
Secret must be shut up.
Really, even from Jordi?
But no. Here we are a team, so we need to be all in one. We need to pull each other. So yeah, I was telling him just to enjoy, to focus on the present moment, and just to go forward.
See, pro rider coach. Thanks, David.
Thanks so much.
Thank you to Fran and David Alonso down there. Obviously, David absolutely rapid yesterday in Moto3 class, and also going well this morning. Jordi Torres, though, his Aspar stablemate's got a little bit of work to do from 7th on the grid. I actually spoke to him this morning, Neil. We did a bit of a Q&A for some VIPs in the E paddock, and he actually said yesterday was fine. So I wonder if he feels fairly confident for race time.
Yeah, he was saying that he has to try and learn from some of the fastest guys in qualifying yesterday in today's race, but he'll be trying to hang on to the back of the leading group and then pick up information. We know that Jordi is a very experienced campaigner. He won't try to do too much too soon at this early stage of the championship. I would say today's maybe a bit of a fact-finding mission, perhaps, rather than getting his elbows out and going for the victory, but then I could be wrong.
Well, we'll see. Of course, Jordi last year got life in the 2023 championship, as we do cut to him now. Spanish Elvis, the number 81, certainly about to close that visor down and get serious out there on the grid. But started life last year brilliantly, first and second in the first 2 races of the season. So he knows how to get it done from the off. But going to be a bit more of a tall order from that 3rd row on the grid. Got to come through some fast guys, including Oscar Gutierrez, the top of our rookies, the number 99 on the Access MSI squad. So watch out for the number 99 there, because he's looking like he's decent.
Yeah, he could be this year's dark horse. A few people tipping him to spring a surprise or two this year. Luka Stulovic is back in MotoE after a year in the Moto2 World Championship. And Tulovic taking a little bit of time to get up to speed. Says he's still not able to push the bike at its limit quite yet, but he had a very respectable qualifying yesterday. He'll be starting from the middle of the 3rd row, 8th place for the German. And Tulovic lining up for the Dynavolt Intact GP MotoE squad along with Hector Garzo this year.
Yeah, Tulovic doing a decent job, as Neil says. Obviously, we know it's a little bit difficult to come back into the MotoE category. He had Zacconi last year, certainly not a brilliant year for Zacconi last year, but in his 2nd year back in the category, going much better. Kevin Zanoni, 9th on the grid. I'm not too sure if he'd be thrilled with that. Obviously, Zanoni last year was kind of in that mid-pack anyway, but 9th, I imagine he was hoping to be a little bit further up on there, and will be counted down to race time very, very shortly indeed. So we'll see what he can do. And of course, there is your pole sitter then, and we're about to go racing. So here is your grid then for the first race of the 2024 season. The number 51 of Eric Granado sits on pole from Nicola Spinelli, the rookie from last year in his sophomore season, looking to make a title challenge in 24. Mattia Casadei, the reigning world champion, heads off from 3rd, with Garzo, Zacconi and the rookie Gutierrez on that 2nd row of the grid. Jordi Torres, the 2-time world champion, or World Cup winner as it was, he's looking there from the 3rd row of the grid, with Tulovic and Zanoni behind him. Then Mikko Pons, Matteo Ferrari, Massimo Roccoli make up the 4th row, and then onto the 5th row we have Mantovani, certainly not a great qualifying for the 2-time race winner from last year, with Finello and Manfredi completing that. And then rounding us out we have the 2 rookies from the debut team Aruba Cloud MotoE Racing, Chaz Davies and Armando Pontoni, and Maria Herrera rounds it out in her first ride for the Clint Forward Factory T. Neil, predictions?
Well, it is difficult to look past that man, considering his track record. But considering this is a new track for MotoE, I think it's wide open. I'm going to go with the man in 2nd, Nicola Spinelli. How about you, Jack?
Ooh, Spinelli's a good shout, but I think it's too tough to say. But I reckon Casadei might just have a bit of a pace advantage on everyone this weekend. So let's see how he goes from 3rd.
Okay, and Fran, what about you?
I was going to say, I hope I get to say, but I don't actually have that much to add because I really don't know. I think Ferrari's still going to be one to watch. Even from back there, we've seen him overcome a long lap before to come through and still fight at the front. But I think, I don't know, anyone in the first sort of 2 rows for sure. Torres is always wily. Tulovic's got to get back in the groove as well as, you know, give it full throttle from the off. So I don't know, let's see. It's going to be a good one though.
Nice one, Fran. I like the way you're adopting the approach of just naming 5, 6, 7, 8 names. So
if you name everyone, then you cannot be wrong.
Exactly, it's an approach that's worked well for you in the past, and it does give you an idea that yeah, we're not really too sure about how this is going to pan out. 7 laps ahead of us though. One thing is for sure, it's going to be action-packed and well, full of excitement.
Yeah, absolutely is. So then all the mechanics make their way off the grid. You can see the IRTA and Dorna personnel there just making sure everything's good to go for this MotoE race. Of course, once we do get the green lights going out, it is going to be firing into race mode. No warm-up lap, so they need to be on it right from the off, and it really is a burst into life here in MotoE. Of course, these bikes with electric motors, you just whack the throttle on and go for it. They have a little bit of launch controller, or wheelie control I should say, to help them out with it, delivering all that torque. They definitely need it, but it is going to be an absolute firing down to turn 1. Here we go then, we are clearing the grid. The red flag runs off at the front, the lights come on and they will be going off. They're off now and we are go in 2024. Looks like a pretty good start from Nicola Spinelli and also Hector Garzo around the outside. Is that? I think it was Hector Garzo on the number 4. It is coming from the second row of the grid, sweeps around the outside, and it is not the ideal start for your poleman Eric Granado. He's down to 4th already.
He is indeed, as they fan out, breaking down into turn 2. It's been a good start good first couple of corners for Oscar Gutierrez. He's maybe grabbed a couple of positions. He's up into 4th from 6th on the grid. Granado back in 5th.
The rookie ready to rumble there, another number 99 there. You can see on the fluo yellow, the Axis MSI bike up into 4th. Oh, actually, he's not going to be. He's going to be barged back down into 5th then. So Eric Granado, after a decent getaway, it has to be said, off the line, just got barged out and a bit bullied going into turn 1, down to 4th, and now recovered into that 4th position. But Hector Garza, one of the ones that we said to watch out for. That's Spinelli up the inside. So the sophomore in his second season in MotoE, looking to lead this one on lap 1.
Super stuff, and it looks as though Garza might have got the position back as they try and tough it out around the Craig Jones corner. That is not a place where you want to be going 2 by 2. And you can see Spinelli's lost out with Casadei now moving up into 2nd.
And here comes Jordi Torres as well. It looks like Oscar Gutierrez, the rookie, is getting beaten up a little bit. I think he's down to 6th or 7th now as Granado. That's a stunning move through turn 12 there. The fast left-hander has got to be brave to pull that one off. It looks like Torres is still battling with Gutierrez as Zacconi's taken a wild, wide line through turn 13. He's in 5th for now, holding stations, but it looks like as we come round to complete the first lap, Hector Garza is going to lead the first racing lap in 2024 in MotoE.
It looks that way, doesn't it? It's been a tough first lap for Matteo Ferrari. He hasn't made the progress he would have wished for. He's down in 12th. He's lost a position off the grid, but you can see here comes Casadei, starting well. He's managed to grab a couple of positions. He's going to pull out of the slipstream of Garza, but here comes Granado, 3rd to 1st in one corner.
Wow, big shake going down the drop into turn 1 on the brakes, but he somehow gets it stopped. Brilliant stuff from Eric Granado, then down from 5th off the line, up back into 1st position. The poleman has recovered it absolutely beautifully, as I think Garza had a bit of a moment there on the front through turn 3. The one rider that hasn't made any ground is Matteo Ferrari, the 2019 World Cup winner, still down in 11th.
Yeah, not going to plan for the initial MotoE winner, but how about that from Granado? Coming back from a pretty lousy start. We've got a yellow flag in sector number 1. Not sure if anyone's crashed. That's Finello, I think, who's fallen down, the second Gresini bike. So a tough start to the year for the Italian. That's a shame. But Granado and Casadei, are they just inching clear off Garza? We saw Garza have a little bit of a bobble through turn number 3 at the start of lap 2, and that has just given the top 2 a bit of an edge.
Yeah, it certainly has done. There's a little bit of a gap forming there, as you do say, Neil, and it looks as though Garza perhaps just not quite the pace of Eric Granado at the minute, and even Casadei, the 2 LCR boys on those lovely looking Ducatis, certainly starting to stretch this. As you can see there, the tyre graphic popping up. We will be starting to torture that Michelin rear, absolutely, you can guarantee that, particularly. Oh, the race leader's down! Eric Granado has thrown it away, unbelievable! He recovered all the way from 5th in one lap, and he's thrown it away on the very next one. It's a disaster for the Brazilian in race 1 of 2024.
Wow, Eric Granado, the pole sitter, the man who just racked up his 10th pole position of his career yesterday. You thought everything was looking good for him to maybe break clear with another rider and fight for victory, but sadly that's a sight that we've become accustomed to in years gone by. Eric Granado throwing away a great position of promise, but look at this from Spinelli. He's now starting to beat up that was Hector Garza in 3rd.
Yeah, all of a sudden Spinelli's a believer. He's seen Granado go down in front of him, and now all of a sudden he's right on the back of the reigning world champion. Eric Granado holds his head in his hands. He can barely believe it. This is down into turn 14, then he's just going to lose the front, touching the brakes, trail braking in, and just locks up. You wonder if that was a matter of tyre temperature or just braking a bit too hard, trying to push away and force a gap on his teammate behind, the reigning world champion. But that is a total disaster for Eric Granado at the start of the season. You certainly can't win the championship in the first race, but you can definitely make it a lot harder to win it, and that is not ideal for the Brazilian. Yeah,
it certainly is not. Casadei, we thought he might have been breaking clear off the people behind him, but you can see Spinelli, Garza, Zacconi, they are right there. We do have a lead group of 4. In fact, make that 5, because Jordi Torres is still very much in this fight. He's hanging on for his dear life there in 5th, but Torres still very much in this fight.
Yeah, Torres certainly seeming though he's getting a bit more racy come to these laps now. Obviously we're clicking in to lap 3, almost about to tick over for just about one more lap to go until we get to half race distance. This is a look at Mattia Casadei. Here you can see actually the brand new Michelin tyres for this year. Already you may have known about the pattern on the rear tyre, this kind of velvet technology that they put on. It's meant to wear off after 2 laps, and well, there you go. You can see that it has worn off after 2 laps. More sustainable this year are those Michelin tyres. So Casadei leads across the line then at the end of lap 3, but watch the slipstream. Hector Garzo is going to get a double bubble in 3rd place and pull out of it. Is he going to pick off both of them? No, I think he's just going to get Spinelli down into turn 1. So up to 2nd for young Hector, and you have to say that Ali Zak, and there he is, Zak 61, right at the back of this leading quartet, is looking dangerous. He's looking pretty good there.
Yeah, we've had a crash just on the exit of turn 1 there. I'm not sure exactly who it was, but I absolutely agree with you, Jack. Alessandro Zacconi is the danger man in this lead group, the fastest man on track, the fastest lap of the race at 46.8. That is, well, not too bad at all. That's about 0.4 of a second off the pole time from yesterday. So Zacconi is certainly moving as he tries to edge towards his podium battle. Its Ferrari has gone down.
Unbelievable. So the 2019 World Cup winner, the rider that has finished so well in every championship, he's won a race in every season of MotoE. Oh, I just lost the rear on the exit. It looked like he might have been a little bit hot into turn 1 anyway, diving for the apex to try and get it stopped, and just as he's tapped the power in, it's let go. So 2 of our big hitters in the MotoE grid this year are already out of this one. That's a full fat 25 points that they might just well hand over to the reigning world champion Mattia Casadei.
Yeah, disaster then for not just Granado but Matteo Ferrari as well. But it's not by no means a given that Mattia Casadei is going to walk away with 25 points from this one, because Hector Garzo is trying to make his life very, very uncomfortable. You can see the number 4 now in his 2nd year for the Dynavolt Intact GP MotoE team, looking very comfortable. Garzo 4th in the championship last year, really aiming now to kick on and become a regular race winner and the championship contender once again. You can see he's got a good line coming out of turn 15 up over the crest as they come across the line. Will he have the slipstream or the drive out to draft by Casadei to turn 1?
We're going to go free abreast down into turn 1 by the looks of it. Spinelli then with a big slipstream round the outside, 3rd to 1st at the first corner there. Brilliant stuff then. So Spinelli, the rider that won the very last race of last season, is looking to start exactly how he ended 2023.
Yeah, super stuff from Spinelli, and another crash there done at turn 3. I think I heard some scraping. We didn't quite catch who it was, but the yellow flags. Yeah, the yellow flags are out in sectors 1 and 2, and I think you are right. It could be the number 99 of Oscar Gutierrez. It is. He's fallen down the order on our left.
So that's a shame then for Oscar Gutierrez. The rookie, of course, he did 2 rounds last year for the Pramac team and impressed and earned himself this full-time ride with the Access MSI squad for this year. But that's a shame. He was running really strongly at the start of the race, obviously up into 4th place and past the pole sitter Eric Granado at that time. So we hope that Oscar is all okay. There he is. We can see him that he's all fine. The marshals just waiting to see if he's going to get re-going or not.
Yeah, and Kevin Zanoni did a good job to avoid Gutierrez, who crashed just in front of him. Shame for the Spaniard, but look at this from Spinelli. He is actually managing to put a couple of tenths of a second into his pursuers. His lead now stands at nearly 0.3 of a second, although Garzo does look as though he's gained a decent chunk back into turn 13. But Spinelli trying his hardest here to make a break on lap 5 of 7.
Yeah, we're going to see what Garzo can do now. He's obviously got the hooks into the back of the number 29 Tech 3 bike in front of him. And thought, as you said, Neil, that Spinelli was maybe going to start pulling away here, but Garzo doing an incredible job. We'll have to see what the lap times are like as they come around this time, because they've definitely left Mattia Casadei in the dust a little bit this time. And there it is, Spinelli into the 46s for the first time in this race. That's a pretty fast lap, that one. So certainly not too bad, as we now see Zacconi attacking down into turn 1 as well. Is he going to stick it? No, he's going to go wide, and he's going to lose 2 spots as well. Jordi Torres slides through at turn 2 as well.
Yeah, and Garzo has managed to retake the lead off Spinelli going down into turn 1. So it's all change up at the front. Jordi Torres is a man that we have to keep our eyes on now. Torres behind Spinelli was the fastest man on track last time around. So Torres is coming into his own at the end of the race.
Yeah, so watch the number 81 then, the danger. Oh, there might have been contact there between Zacconi and Torres. It is. They're both out of it. Hopefully they're all okay. They both get up, look at each other to decide which one's fault it is. But that is a massive twist in this race 1 here in MotoE in Portimao. And certainly Jordi Torres, there you can see it's no fault of Jordi Torres at all. Zacconi just in a little bit too hot and tags the back of Jordi Torres down into turn 5. And that is disaster for the pair of them out of this one.
Goodness me, it's turning into a real race of attrition, and that stare from Jordi Torres, that was the death stare that he gave Alessandro Zacconi, because the Italian made a right mess of that down into turn 5, taking both of them down. And well, two further men that we're expected to fight for the championship this year is coming away from this race with a 0.
Yeah, dropping like flies in this one, and all of a sudden Kevin Zanoni and Lucas Tulovic are looking at getting a top 5 each, and even
Mikel Pons has crashed now.
Oh, blimey. So that's both of the Axis MSI team bikes out, both of the Grassini team bikes out, and they're dropping like flies there, as you do say, Neil. Where has Mikel Pons crashed out? Is this the replay of Mikel Pons' crash? Maybe it's into the... Oh, he's just lost it. We see that crash so often going into turn 8. Probably touched the white line or the curb there just as he got onto the brakes, and he has gone down. Indeed, as now Spinelli goes to the lead once more. So the sophomore is fighting back on this last lap. Goes back past Garzo into turn 1.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Spinelli then has regained the initiative, but look at Casadei. He's eagerly trying to find a way by past Hector Garzo. He's going to need to get by the Spaniard pretty quickly, though, if he wants to get up to Spinelli up front. Turn 5 could offer an opportunity.
Time to see what they've got then. Turn 5 is one overtaking opportunity, but not here. Yellow flags. You can see the marshals down there still taking the bike away from Torres and Zacconi the lap prior. So that is one big place done off the list for Spinelli. Nothing really will happen through here into 7 and 8, but possibly at the top of the hill once we drop through Craig Jones' corner through into turn 10, 11. You might see an overtaking move there if they can get the run out of here, but it's crucial to stop the wheelie, and it looks like he has, but Spinelli has got a gap on them through there. Great job from Nicholas defending this one at the front.
Yeah, you can see it holding station then as they go into this turn 10, turn 11 corner. Another drop down, pitch into the left, and then turn 13 is going to offer up another chance. I think there's only really 2 spots left. Will Garzo have a go here?
Whoa, it doesn't look like he's going to be close enough to go. There's a huge bump on the way in there as well, so you don't want to be risking too much, otherwise you could lose the front end. This is one place where surely he'll turn it tight and look to go up the inside. No, he's got it covered for Spinelli, and that could be all she wrote for race 1 here in MotoE in 2024. Nicolas Spinelli looks like he's going to start life exactly how he ended 2023. Surely he's going to do it on the run to the line. Enough of a gap. Absolutely. The 29 wins on debut with the Tech-Free Racing squad and wins the first race of the 2024 season. Congratulations, Spinelli. Great performance, full fat 25 points, and taking advantage of others that crashed out too.
Well, starting the year in the perfect way is the Italian. Nicola Spinelli showed us towards the end of 2023 that he is a force to be reckoned with in this MotoE World Championship, and well, he started off this year in exactly the same fashion. Superb last lap from him to take the advantage, to take the lead off Hector Garzo at the start of the final lap, and yeah, well, kept a very, very cool head right the way round.
Yeah, certainly did. Absolutely brilliant performance there from Spinelli. Really, really good job from all 3 of your podium riders there. You can see Massimo Roccoli, the number 55 on the 658 machine. He picked up 6th in his first race of the 24 season. Great job there from the rookie as well. Strange to call Roccoli a rookie, seeing as he's been racing for almost as long as I've been alive on this earth. But anyway, fantastic job there too, and really, really good stuff from the number 55.
Yeah, well, where do we start when we pick through the bones of some of that race? There's so much to talk about. So many big hitters falling down, which I have to say was a big surprise. We saw that actually the first race of last year in Le Mans as well. Not sure whether that was just opening race nerves. Everyone's so eager to get a good result on the board. But with the likes of Granado, Torres, Zacconi, Ferrari did manage to finish, but finished on in 12th. I mean, those are 4 seriously big hitters that will be coming away from this particular race very disappointed indeed.
Yeah, absolutely. Really not the way they would have wanted to start, because, as you say, Mattia Casadei last year, towards the end of the season, only got stronger and stronger. If he's already starting off on the podium, then that is a bit of a bad omen for the rest of the field. It took Casadei a little while to get, well, not say a little while, but he got his first podium at round 2 last year, but podiums in the first half of the year were few and far between before he then went on a run of 7 straight podiums to overhaul that huge deficit he had to Torres in the 23 championship. So certainly for the likes of Torres and Ferrari mainly, a real disaster here on day 1 of the 24 season.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is Casadei's 8th consecutive podium in the MotoE category, and that is not quite correct, that graphic, because it's his second MotoE victory after Misano, the final race off last year, which he won right at the end as well, just like he did there. Nicola Spinelli is going to make a bit of a habit of this year, I feel. He's obviously switched across from the Pons team, which is no longer part of the MotoE World Championship, now riding with Tech 3 E-Racing. He's found a new home in Hervé Poncheral's outfit, and it looks as though it's taken him very, very little time to get up to speed. So Spinelli, by one senior MotoE figure, was reckoning a favourite for the championship, actually, which I have to say was a bit of a surprise when I spoke to them on Thursday, but showing today that they were entirely justified with that prediction.
Yeah, absolutely. Really pulling a performance out the bag when needed and as expected. So certainly Hervé Poncherel, the team boss down there at Tech 3, going to be more than pleased with the young Italian, the number 29, as he pulls into Parc Fermé at the number 1 position for the second time, starting life in the perfect way. Obviously not too many celebrations. We do still have another job to do today later on with race 2 after the MotoGP Tissot sprint, but for now just some handshakes and some claps and all-round hugs. There he is, Hervé, giving him a big hug too. I'm sure he's just about squeezed the life out of him, particularly later if he does it again in race 2. But there you go, congratulations to Nicola Spinelli, winner of the first race in 2024.
Congratulations, congrats.
Thank you.
You're so smart, you're so clever. That's high praise from Hervé Poncheral, who's obviously been in that victory enclosure more than one occasion in his long and storied career, receiving the congratulations of Lucio Cecchinello as well. Bittersweet feelings, you would have to imagine, for him after seeing one of his contenders crash out of the lead, but the other on the podium.
Yeah, you got to say that that crash from Eric on the second lap, really, really unexpected. He's not particularly one that makes a ton of mistakes. We have seen him crash in high-pressure scenarios before, but he's been looking so good this weekend in terms of not a standout in terms of absolutely the one that would go on and win, but he looked like he certainly had the pace to run at the front, and I'm sure that if he hadn't crashed, he would have been right there in that win fight right at the end. And yeah, just an uncharacteristic mistake early on.
Yeah, it was a shame from Granado. I think he was just trying to pull that lead group apart. But we really could have had, I think, 6 names fighting for the ultimate honours in that race there. Had Granado, Torres and Zacconi not fallen. But in the end, it was a pretty exciting 3-way fight. This man, who we're about to see on our screens, didn't come out on top, but a solid start to the year for the reigning world champion. And he's in Parc Fermé with Fran.
He is indeed. So Mattia, front row, first podium, first time out. Are you happy enough?
Yeah. I'm happy. Good result for the first race. We miss something, but now in this afternoon there is another race, and we perfect the bike and ready to do a better race in the afternoon.
Congrats.
Thank you.
As always, short and sweet there from Mattia Casadei, rather to the point. Interesting there, saying to perfect the bike for the second race. So obviously something that he wasn't entirely happy with out there, but I mean, if he wasn't entirely happy with it and still lumped it onto third on the podium, yeah, telling signs for what might happen in race 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Solid start to the year. You certainly don't win the World Championship in the first race, but you can go some way to losing it. A good result for him, a good result for this man as well. Hector Garzo pipped to first, but second place was good. He's with Fran.
Yes, he is indeed. Hector, so that was a pretty incredible last couple of laps. He was so close, but there was just no way through. Was that what we can expect from you this season? Long game, but still some elbows out.
Yeah, thank you guys. Happy to already start the championship. It was a little bit tough race because the track was already dirty from these past days. I tried to manage the front and the rear as better as possible. I tried to always stay on the front. And as you said, for sure it was really difficult. Spinelli did really well. He went a little bit long. I wanted to try, but I really thought that was too risky. I prefer to gain that points, wait a little bit and start the championship in a good way.
Well, congrats, Hector.
Thank you very much.
Hector Garzo there, definitely already playing the championship long game. Take the 20 points, get them in the bag, and that will do just nicely for now. Here is one of those replays of the overtakes. Many overtakes down into turn one we saw. It seems that the slipstream effect here in Portimao was pretty incredible on the MotoE machines. And here is your race winner then for the first race of 2024. Nicola Spinelli is down with Fran.
Well, Nicholas, you ended last season with a win and you've started this season with a win. Congratulations, how does it feel?
Yeah, I'm very happy for the team, for sure for me. I did a good work, but after there is a race 2 and stay focused for after.
Well, we'll see. Congrats.
Thank you.
Another short and sweet interview down in Parc Ferme then from Nicola Spinelli, and that is a man that doesn't sound as though he is going to rest on his laurels today. Already thinking about race 2. Well, at least crack the champagne and enjoy it up until then, you would have to say. But Spinelli showing that he's got his championship hat on as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the grid, Neil, you tipped him as well. So certainly some visionary stuff there from Neil Morrison in the commentary box. You can expect much more of that throughout 2024 as Neil dives into his crystal ball a few more times, 15 more times actually to be precise. So we'll see how long Neil can keep the streak going. There you see then Nicolas Spinelli on the 29, thrilled and overjoyed with that one to start the year in the perfect fashion. But as we say, you just have to do it all again later on in race 2. The traditional signing then of the NLX board. Always love it when the riders sign this. So they auction it off, or I believe they do, don't they?
I think so, yeah. I think Fran is maybe the one to ask, but sadly she has left us. Busy lass is Fran. So yeah, we can maybe try and get the down low on that for race 2. But yeah, a busy year ahead for these guys. As you said at the top of the show, we have a 8-round series, 16 races. It is a long championship, and already some of these guys are on the back foot.
Absolutely. We obviously know that Matteo Ferrari, I mean, it's been a bit of a puzzling weekend for Matteo anyway. In one of the practice sessions yesterday, P2, I do believe he had some sort of issue with the bike, or whether it was with the setup, and then could only set a lap time that was 5 seconds off, so that meant he had to go into Q1. Then he didn't make it out of Q1, and now he's crashed in the race. Certainly not what we expected from Matteo Ferrari. Of course, won a race in every season of the MotoE World Championship, so we really thought he'd be right up there in that fight at the front this weekend too. And you know, starting 11th again in race 2, it's going to be a difficult one there, because once you're down there, it's all, well, you're in the chaos then, aren't you? Yeah, elbows out, everyone eager to get a start down into turn 1 and come through on lap 1, but that's how it goes. Anyway, here's the podium then. Mattia Casadei, reigning world champion, starts life with a 3rd place. Certainly not too bad for him at all. 2nd place, Hector Garzo, really good. That's actually his 3rd 2nd place in a row off the back end of last year when he was on the box twice in Misano at the final round. But standing above them all, Nicola Spinelli, and now a 2-time MotoE race winner, one last year and one this year. He started life perfect way in 2024. Congratulations to that man.
So Paolo Silvani provides the trophy. Pretty cool trophy that, you would have to say. The man who finished in 3rd, Casadei, one to add to his burgeoning trophy cabinet. Certainly did get packed out with some silverware last year. Paolo Silvani presenting Hector Garzo with the trophy for 2nd. 3rd straight runners-up place for the Spaniard. And Alberto Venanzoni, the eMotorsport product manager, gives the winner's trophy over to Nicola Spinelli, who raises it in the air for the 2nd time in his career. And now it's time for the Italian national anthem.
So the Italian national anthem then rings out, an absolute banger, as one of my MotoGP colleagues, Elliot York, once described it as, and I have to say he's not wrong at all. Spraying the champagne, well, the Prosecco actually, but don't get too silly with it, boys. You've got a second race to do later, and they are all sensible. Quick little swig, but we won't. We'll pretend we didn't see that. It's all fine. Anyway then, so race 1 of 2024 complete, and hopefully we will be able to see the full race classification pop up in just a second, confirming Nicola Spinelli as your winner. And there it is. Nicola Spinelli then starts live in the 25-point fashion, just a tenth and a half ahead of Hector Garza in the end, his third second place in succession. Mattia Casadei, the reigning champ, is in third. And Luka Tulovic, a good start for him, obviously benefiting from some crashes behind. Then Zanoni and Roccoli in the top 6 on his debut in 2024. Mantovani comes from 13th on the grid to 7th after all the chaos. Kevin Manfredi, Davies gets a top 10, so does Pontone with Maria Herrera, and then your crashers and rejoiners round us out at the end. The championship standings, well, it's only race 1, so repeat just exactly what I said. Nicola Spinelli with 25 points all the way running down to your last points paying finisher, actually only 13 finishers in the end, with Alessio Finello rounding us out after he crashed early on as well, so still 3 points for his efforts indeed. And Matteo Ferrari, those 4 points could prove vital as we go down the run in the 2024 series. The team's championship, well, it's a brilliant start for the Dynavolt Intact GP team, obviously 2nd and 4th for their guys today, 33 points, but then Tech Free E Racing picking up 25. You see all the way going down to the Filo Grassini MotoE team after 2 crashes, still gathering 7 points, not a bad consolation for them indeed.
And then this is what happened in the first MotoE World Championship race of 2024. It was a tight start on the run down to the first turn. It was Hector Garza who managed to get the jump from 4th in the grid into 1st. We then had a big group up front. Eric Granado had a bit of a shaky start from pole position. He went from 5th to 1st in rapid succession, with Mattia Casadei just in behind. But it was to be short-lived, because this then happened. Granado crashed out of the lead, going down into turn 14. Brazilian would be heartbroken in the first race, and that left 5 guys fighting at the front. Casadei with Garzo, the 2 Tech 3 guys, and Jordi Torres joining in the fun as the race went on. We had crashes down the field for Matteo Ferrari, while Spinelli seemed to have the edge on the other guys going in to turn 1. Turn 1 was once again the scene of a overtake as Hector Garzo took over at the front, with Zacconi going into 3rd temporarily. That allowed Jordi Torres through into 4th, and then those 2 crashed out just with over a lap to spare. This was the race winning overtake though. Spinelli taking the lead down into turn 1, and he managed to hold that advantage right the way around the final lap to take victory in the first race of 2024. You have to say on that performance, it could be the first of many. Nicola Spinelli was the winner, and he has a chance to make this a double later this afternoon. So stick around, guys, because next up we have Moto2 and Moto3 qualifying, and then MotoGP Sprint and MotoE Race 2. It's an action-packed afternoon, and you don't want to miss a minute.